Movies are very often shot in two colors, for example. Now, just like a black and white photo, two colors will really simplify your image, removing distractions. A lot of colors are distractions, so we get two colors. These two colors are complementary to each other or in harmony of each other. One color is really to set the mood and what mood you want for the film. The other color in the image, those two, is just to complement and add contrast and balance to the other color. Sometimes there's three, sometimes there's four, five. Every single shot in a movie, all the colors and outfits are planned. That's how important it is. And in a lot of shoots, for example, someone's whole job is to do the color and set direction for the colors. So there's lots of options to use more than two colors, but they've got to be in harmony with each other. Now, my point is we can do this in editing and not in camera, which is a lot easier. So there's a lot of different color palettes out there, and we'll go over how we can just put these color palettes into the images. So anyone with a color theme will be using a harmony of color. So I've been studying photographer's styles for a long time now. Here's a photographer I really love, so Jolanda, and she's really bringing down the whites for the underexposed look. So contrast still plays a big role. We don't want to be stretching the histogram out to all the way to 100 on the whites and all the way to 0 on the blacks. We want a flatter and often darker looking image than you'd see on broadcast television, for example. We want a more smooth, flatter looking contrast. There's different ways we can do this in Lightroom, but I like Jolanda. A big emphasis on that for her is dropping the whites a lot, and we'll be covering lots of different styles here. So same with the highlights, we get a more of an underexposed look, and you can see that in the histogram. As for her color palette, she goes very warm, so she's really bringing up the warmth a lot. She's overdoing it to create almost a monochromatic color theme in her image, complementary or monochromatic. So Mitchell, for example, really leans into those really warm tones in the blue tones. So he does that a lot with playing with split toning, adding in lots of blue there, and then really bringing out the oranges and HSL. Working the curves, but also plays with temperature. So I really like his color palette. So he's doing the complementary, very strong compared to Jolanda, who we just went over, who's very monochromatic. Not completely monochromatic. Another image from Mitchell here, so you can see the play with the warm tones and the cool tones, getting this perfect bluish, warm, kind of blue shadows. The greens go this little blue, but then there's so much warmth in the image at the same time. So he sort of pulls that off with some HSL, really bringing out those oranges to make them stand out above those cool tones that he puts in the shadows. Kelly Taylor's a good example of complementary colors she uses as well. Okay, I personally really like Marcella's work. I think super cinematic. So like I said, contrast plays a really big role of reducing the total brightness. The curves play a really big role in this for her, really smoothing and darkening the image so it doesn't have this really bright whites and we don't have really dark shadows, blacks. And then we can also see that same technique up here. Highlights down, whites down, blacks up, shadows up, low contrast. So you'll start to see patterns on like what creates a cinematic look. And in this image as well, she's adding in a lot of warmth in the shadows and highlights for this particular photo. So I really like this image and its color palette. So sometimes you capture the color palette in camera and then you just enhance it in Lightroom as well. So that's what we've got here. We've got an orange and blue color split because of her hair, the sand and the water. They're definitely the strongest colors going on. And then we are enhancing that orange and teal with highlights, cool highlights, warm shadows. So I really like Cam's work. Its cinematic look isn't all about color, it's also contrast. So editing, especially like blooming the mids, I see it a lot in the cinematic look. A brighter in the mids relative to your highlights and shadows. Not all the time, but I always quite often see a bump in the mids, and Benny does this a lot, and I think it gives a really cinematic slight bloom and really nice look when you do a curve like that, I think it looks cinematic, off and on, very subtle, but I think it makes it a lot more cinematic. Here's another example. If we just turn it off and on, I think it gives such a softness, but yet contrast, a bit of a glow. And then you'll also see, we'll cover soon, but the clarity is also, I see very often for the cinematic look. Here's another example of really cool tones, complementary and warm tones, quite heavy. We're combining that with a really darkening of the image, of highlights down and whites down. It creates a really cinematic look. I wouldn't say filmy look, it's more cinematic, but going towards a film look also can make it look cinematic as well. Okay, if we come to this one, this is Manuela. So she's a student in the course and now she's got really awesome edits. So what I like about her style is like she really drops the highlights and the whites and the style gets very cinematic. So especially if you keep an eye on the histogram here and then after, you can see how far away it is from the whites now. And that's a pattern we've seen in this, dropping out those, bringing down those whites and highlights, making it way more cinematic. And then she's also doing quite a bit with the color, complementary colors, warm tones versus cool tones. So shaping lighting is very, very important. If we reset this image, this is what we can do with shaping the light with filters and brushes and such. So here we go, before, after of just the filters. So it's just adding contrast, darkening the image. You can see that a lot in Luke's work, before and after, shaping that light, bringing out the subject, getting rid of distractions, and keeping the image quite dark and contrasted. So before and after, you can really see how we've shaped the light to make it more dramatic, make it darker, highlight the subject. And then another example of really strong filters and brushes that completely change the edit is this one. So bang, and we are really honing in on the subject of the photo there. Characteristic of the cinematic look, I would say bring down the clarity. Create a softening, bit of a bloom, make the highlights glow. So we've also got that in this one here. I see it all the time. So back to Benny's one, you can see he also brought down the clarity. Yang's bringing down that clarity, cinematic look. Dean bringing down that clarity. And then Mac bringing down that clarity. And then another one of Mac's bringing down that clarity. But if we come to this one, this one's plus 35. So the edit for this image has completely changed because this image has a lot of texture. So that's the other component of the cinematic look, is getting lots of texture to your image. So you'll see that come and play like this. So if we take away the clarity, it's just so much smoother. And I don't know if that's good because we've obviously got a lot of dust and grit going on and we want to give that feeling, bring that out in this particular photo. But then if you've got a photo like this, we're bringing down the clarity. And another example of creating glow and texture, bringing down the clarity gives this like bloom, misty feeling. -30 there, Gabriel, negative clarity by 40. Knowing when to lower clarity or increase clarity makes your images much more cinematic. Okay, another example of warm and cool tones. Whatever his original images, whatever color is in there, he is leaning into that color. So if he's got lots of blues in the original shot, he's gonna push that and enhance that in the editing. So they can come in the split toning here, lots of blues to emphasize the blues. And then if there's a majority of warm tones, this is what we see here, just leaning into those warm tones rather than trying to add some blue. So then when you look at the colors on the feed, you get this complementary split of warm and cool tones, and then also green tones that are on the warm side. But that helps with the balance of colors like we went over before, like a dominance to one color helps the balance in your image. I really love Emma's work. So she goes for a blue look to her elegant weddings, making the weddings look like they're out of a movie. Nice color palette going on. Yeah, really great editing. Yeah, so you can do any color. Any color can be put into a color palette. You just need to know how to combine them, make them complement each other, and balance them. A lot of it is a gut feeling, but when you learn this stuff, you sort of realize there's a lot of rules to it, and that you can follow rules and you can create whatever color palette you want. Yeah, Robin also goes for that brown look complemented by blues. You can see here also Robin is dropping the whites, dropping the highlights, underexposed. I'd call his style quite cinematic. So most of the time you want a really dominant color in most of your images, or you need to balance them as a complementary split or 3 colors, but one of those colors needs to be more emphasized and take up maybe 70% of the photo, and there's 20% and 10%. These colors need to be balanced. There's a bit more to it, like intensity of colors. If a color is really intense, there's less of it in the image, creating harmony. All this harmony really adds to the cinematic look that movies use. Join the emails if you want free presets, daily, free trainings, free insights on editing, and yeah, comment down below what you found helpful, and catch you in the next one.